Today I wanted to introduce another powerful tool in our toolbox to do causal inference. This is called instrumental variable analysis. And we saw a taste of this before. So let me refresh your mind on what this taste of this was. So let's say we are giving medicine. So Z is a variable for whether we give medicine to people. Z, of course, affects the treatment of whether they take the medicine. So maybe this is over years, and so you might assume that some people might miss the medicinal treatment. We're interested in the causal effect from A over to Y, so this might be treatment for high cholesterol. However, we know that there are some other unidentified types of factors that might be associated with both their willingness to take the medication as well as their cholesterol level in the end result. So we have some unmeasured confounding variable from A to Y. So we talked about before, this type of analysis we could do with intention to treat analysis. So intention to treat analysis. So Z to Y is unconfounded. There's no confounders here. There's no selection bias. There's complete exchangeability from Z to Y. So we can go ahead and measure what the effect, the causal effect of giving people medication would be on the reduction of their cholesterol. That being said, it's very different from the causal effect of giving and then taking the medication on your total cholesterol levels. So we talked about intention to treat effects already before. But what if I told you there would be a way in this type of framework in order to figure out actually what the causal effect from A to Y is? Right? That's really cool, right? Because previously, if we didn't have Z, we would have no idea to actually figure out what the causal effect from A to Y is if we knew there were unmeasured confounders. So I've got no tool to deal with this. The only tool would be measure those confounders and condition upon them. Okay, that is what instrumental variable analysis will do. The instrumental variable in our example would be Z. Now there are three very, very important things that we need to know about Z. So there are three assumptions that we need to have. So assumption number one, Z is associated with A. It's associated with the actual treatment that we are interested in. So Z needs to be associated with A. In our case, giving medication is very associated with taking medication. If you're not given it, you're definitely not going to take it. And if you're given it, there's probably a high likelihood that you are going to take it. Now, there are other situations, which will go on a little bit later on, where you're not necessarily giving someone medication, but you find something that is associated, that is linked to some sort of treatment that you're interested in. So it's not a direct causal effect. The second condition that we are very interested in here is that Z has no direct causal effect on Y. So Z, no direct effect on Y, on our outcome, on Y. So in this case, we can obviously see it doesn't have any effect on Y. So the act of giving someone medication, so like the doctor just handing it to you, shouldn't have any effect on your cholesterol. Whereas you could imagine the doctor handing you medication for stress or something like that might actually have a direct effect on stress. So that might not be a good instrumental variable. So Z must have no direct effect on Y. There's one final assumption here that we need to make sure that our instrumental variable has. And this final assumption is that Z and Y are exchangeable. Exchangeable. I'm just going to put sort of exchange here. Given if there were no causal effect from A to Y. And so this is also kind of like an easy or a hard result to prove, right? We would basically need to be asking the exact same question. Are there any common causes between Z and Y? And are we conditioning upon any common effects? So again, you're asking a very similar question about Z, your instrumental variable, as you would be asking about your treatment variable. So these are the assumptions, the basic assumptions that we will need in order to make instrumental variables work. There's one more assumption that I'll be going over next time, and then I will show you the proof on how we actually get the causal effect of A if we only have Z.